The restaurants. I think a certain amount of the restaurant business, they count on, let's say, McCarter Theater and the arts here in town. People come into downtown, they have dinner, then they go to the arts events. Well, if the university is going to be a buffer, bring them straight into a restaurant right at the arts down on Alexander Road or wherever it's going to be, these people will never make it to downtown.
If you walk through Princeton of an evening, there are people lined up to trying to get into restaurants. There's plenty of room in this town for another restaurant or two, for another coffee shop or two. Absolutely. You know, people vote with their feet. The more difficult you make something, they're going to go away. And if they perceive this to be difficult, that's what's going to happen. Nassau Street is not the only destination or origin of your average Dinky traveller. And let's face it, most people arriving at the Dinky, at least many of them, are not necessarily walking to the Dinky. They're been dropped off at the Dinky, they're parking at the Dinky.
I like to see their data because just myself riding the Dinky every day, I was joined by lots of different commuters all doing the same thing, all making their way by foot from downtown Princeton to come here.
There are more university people who use the Dinky than there are community people who walk to the Dinky.
I think the folks fear that the university considers the Dinky to be an annoyance, to be in its way.
Not only do we not want to get rid of it, we want to enliven it, we want to improve it, we want to make it a better experience in every way. And there will be a sense there of a transit plaza that will be actually really, truly at the service of the community.
This is a very important mass transit link for the university. We want it to remain accessible. We believe it will continue to be accessible, but it will allow for the development of this area in ways that we do think that literally for hundreds of years will benefit not only the university but the community.
Do you really believe that we would be involved in putting the kind of investment that we plan to put into this if we thought it was something that was going to disappear in a week or two? Absolutely not.
The university has a history of when the position of the Dinky becomes inconvenient for the university, they think they can just move it.
I find a growing appreciation for what will be here when we're finished. So yes, one piece of the story is the moving of the Dinky terminus, but that's only a small piece of the story. This will be a much, much livelier area and a nice place, I think, for the community and the university to come together.
It's very, very hard to see a downside. I think one really has to cast about to see a downside. One really has to work pretty hard. When people realize just what an exuberant, a vibrant spot this area is going to be, I think that it is a change that really is going to be for the benefit of one and all.
It's a risk. We are so fortunate to have a branch line in Princeton. Branch lines have been closed down all over the country, and we're fortunate enough to have one right here. Why would we turn our back on it now? Seems to me to make no sense.
What we're trying to do is address those concerns as well as we can, confident that at the end of the day, the community will in fact be very pleased with what we're able to do in this area.
The university so far has been completely unresponsive as to the concerns of the community about the Dinky.
We need it. We need the convenience. We're a wonderful little town, a wonderful little city, and it just adds to it. It's something that we just don't want to lose.
I do understand, as a poet, how, and as a citizen of course, but particularly as a poet I might say, how involved we are in emblem, in symbol, in metaphor. But let's just take symbol, emblem. This is a discussion that's perhaps less about the actual building, in this case of the Dinky Station and its position, than about something else. It's about change and how difficult that sometimes is for us, even if it's a minor change, as in this case. It's about some notion of turf. You know, we're talking about symbol, we're talking about emblem, we're talking about things that mean more than you would decently expect them to mean.
They've always had a small amount of adversity, town and gown. It's always been that way. But Princeton Borough needs Princeton University, and Princeton University needs Princeton Borough.